So I saw a good buddy's comment on some random post about Afghanistan, and it was pretty good. It went in depth about the difference in the people and the different tribes out in the country, out of the cities, and I'm gonna have to talk to him. I want to know his opinion on a couple other things, but I'll ask you here first. The Taliban goes and meets with the Chinese in China 3 weeks prior to taking over the country of Afghanistan. China's been in negotiations with the Taliban about running pipelines into Iran, and we were led to believe that the only thing of value in Afghanistan for the last 20 years was heroin, and our country suffered greatly for our presence in Afghanistan for the last 20 years, but we'll save that one for another time. Come to find out, they've got uranium, gold, platinum, emeralds, lithium, other rare earth minerals used in microchips, cell phones, laptops, tech stuff, So maybe they'll make a new industrious Afghanistan. And under normal circumstances, I would say, you know what, that's great. If China wants to go in there and turn Afghanistan into a profitable place, so be it. Not our problem. But when you look around the world at the sufferings due to the virus released from China, and how every nation seems to be suffering and China's still making moves, and especially when you add in China's ties to Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Mr. Swalwell, maybe Mr. Kenton, Georgia, the meddling in our elections. When you add all these things together, it seems to me that there's a bigger thing afoot. So for the last 8 months, we've been having free reign of our border from Southern America. We're running flights out of Guatemala and Mexico, taking them all over the United States, bringing all these military-age males into our country and abandoning children at the border. Tens of thousands of just unaccompanied minors sitting down there at the border. Now we've got Afghani refugees coming in. Now they just released 5,000 terrorists from the field of battle, and the guy that's in charge of the capital over there allegedly was in Guantanamo Bay for 8 years. Coming through our southern border, there's been people from 100 different countries flowing through. Seems like an organized operation to me. I'm not sure how it feels to you guys, but kind of funny how we've got all this high-tech gear. I mean, we left the Afghani military, drones, Black Hawk helicopters, F-35s, so much ammunition and weaponry, billions of dollars worth of our equipment. I don't understand when we saw the Taliban making moves on the army. I mean, man, a couple drone strikes and settle it down. Here we are rushing out of our embassy, 60,000 people trying to rush out of Kabul airport, people falling off of airplanes, and we just did nothing after 20 years of beating the snot out of the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. 20 years. And we just let the Chinese-backed Taliban right back into power after 20 years. Dead soldiers, people without their families for 6 months, 9 months, a year, 18 months, multiple tours. We just let them walk back in. And not just the Taliban, a Chinese-backed Taliban. The Afghani army, with our billions of dollars worth of equipment, ran away, and then when the Taliban came in, they just turned the weapons and the gear and the Humvees and the Bradleys, they just turned them over to the Taliban. Said, here you go. it's hard to look at the news on any given day and not just see treason. Stuff that would have never been allowed 50 years ago. Stuff your father and your grandfather would have never stood by and seen. No president in the history of the United States would have stood by and allowed stuff like this to happen. I don't care if it was Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, George Bush, Ronald Reagan, Nixon, pick your pick. Not a single one of them would allow this type of embarrassment to happen when we got the technology to end it, stop it. We've got the men in place. Just what's happened is a shame. I hope all of our people get out safe. And man, I hope there's a lesson to be learned here. I don't know. I don't know. Be interested in talking to my buddy. He went over there and did a nice little long stint in Afghanistan, and I'd be interested to see his take on the Chinese involvement with the Taliban and our just walking away and let them walk in. Personally, as long as we get our people out, whatever happens there, I guess, is on them. Boy, sending them back into, I don't know. I personally, if I was in those shoes, and 2 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, you asked me to go back to do something, personally, I'd sure think twice. It'd be hard to put my head in that fight. I don't know. But hey, at the end of the day, we don't get to make those decisions. It's somebody else's country. Adios. Stay good.